Losing weight is on the to-do list of thousands of people as the numbers in obesity rise. We're currently looking at a 42.4% obesity rate in the US alone as of 2023. This is up 26% since 2008. As a medical doctor who sees around 100 patients a week, one of the number one complaints that I hear from my patients is the issue of weight gain and difficulty losing weight effectively. Yes, it's true that some people are able to lose the weight, only to pack it back on and then some. We're inundated with gimmicky gadgets that count our steps, pills that damage the metabolism and create dependence, and weight loss programs that tell you to eat less and move more. These companies have managed to convince you that they have the answer to an ever-growing problem, and none of it works. I'm here to tell you that as a doctor that specializes in metabolic health, the approach to this problem is none of the above. By understanding human biochemistry and physiology, we can approach this in a sound and effective way. And the solution does not require you to starve yourself and do endless hours of cardio. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Dr. Victoria Munoz. I'm a naturopathic medical doctor who specializes in regenerative medicine, metabolic health, and athletic performance. I work with athletes and non-athletes alike, and my patients are getting results. When we are looking at human metabolism, we must take a comprehensive approach. What this means is that the biochemical processes in the human body are multifaceted and orchestrate a symphony of events in an attempt to bring the body into perfect homeostasis. This means that everything is connected. When we're talking about disease, this means that there is a root cause to the multitude of symptoms that patients experience. It's not uncommon for patients to present with multiple diagnoses. This is because once the body becomes metabolically sick, dysfunction goes system-wide. So why do different people present with different symptoms? This is because though our genes do not dictate the outcome of our health, poor lifestyle habits will downregulate certain genes for disease. For example, a patient may report that heart disease runs in my family, that's why I have heart disease. Well, everyone in the family also has the same poor lifestyle habits. There's also the case where everyone in the family presents with a certain disease except one, and that one individual exercises good lifestyle habits. So in terms of weight loss, there are some very important points to take note of, and I'm going to address them here. Testosterone is a longevity hormone. Without an optimal testosterone level, we are faced with a variety of unwelcoming symptoms, such as an increase in visceral fat, which is inflammatory, low energy, decreased libido, poor memory and brain fog, decreased lean muscle mass, and chronic systemic inflammation. Estrogen, specifically estradiol, can increase in men as testosterone levels decline. This is called aromatization. It is actually the increase in estrogen in men that strongly contributes to the male health issues such as benign prostate hypertrophy, prostate cancers, and more. Why does testosterone decline? Well, for a number of reasons. The way we age, gut issues, remember hormones are produced in the gut, carbohydrates in the diet, and low cholesterol. We need cholesterol in order to produce hormones. Cholesterol is at the top of the hormone pathway. As we move along the pathway, we are also producing CoQ10, vitamin D, which is actually a hormone, and then the sex hormones. Low cholesterol is caused by the consumption of processed foods, a low-fat, high-carbohydrate diet, statin drugs, which, by the way, do not prevent heart attack or stroke, plant foods, which contain phytochemicals, lectins, and oxalates, which damage the gut lining where these very hormones are produced. So right when you thought you were eating healthy, these health foods are actually causing your ill health. The truth is that endocrine gland dysfunction such as the thyroid and gonads can occur with age. The truth is that what we see as normal aging is actually a disease state. The human body is genetically programmed to live on average 120 years. How many people do you know that have lived that long? The human body was not designed to become sick and dysfunctional as we get older. This is a result of our poor diets, lifestyle habits, including sitting all day, doing repetitive daily movements at our job, not moving our bodies, lack of sunlight, and the list goes on. The modern day diet of high carbohydrate, low fat has been designed to make you sick. The healthcare system, better defined as the sick care system, has been bought by big corporations such as the pharmaceutical and food industries, and these companies fund MD medical schools and associations such as the American Heart Association and the American Diabetic Association with large sums of money. As a result, what you've been told is a study is actually skewed data to support their agenda and to convince you that you need to buy into their message. It's not about your health, it's about profits. It has only been the last 120 years that we have seen the diseases we commonly know today. The first myocardial infarction was discovered in 1912 on autopsy, and doctors who discovered this were in disbelief. Mind you, autopsies were being performed regularly at this time, so this was not a chance discovery. What we know is normal is not normal for the human condition. We are plagued with insulin resistance, diabetes mellitus, heart disease, autoimmune disease, neurological disorders, mental health disorders, and none of this is because of your genes. We do not have a gene problem, we have a food problem. It has everything to do with what you put in your mouth. 80 to 90% of disease is diet related. To a lesser degree is lack of exercise, chronic stress, lack of sleep, and environmental exposures. So what about plants? Aren't plants good for me? Well, the short answer is no. This doesn't mean that you can never eat a plant, but for over 10,000 generations, we functioned in a state of ketosis, eating primarily fatty meat. It has only been about the last 5 generations that carbohydrates have found their way into our diets. This is a result of farming and food manufacturing. Packaged processed foods are convenient, however, contributing to an already lazy society. What about organic fruits and vegetables? Well, every plant food that you encounter has been bred to be less toxic for consumption and higher in carbohydrate. What this means is that every plant contains toxic chemicals that are contributing to the destruction of the gut lining, immune dysfunction, and cancers. What about plant foods as medicine? Yes, it's true that plants and herbal formulas can be used to treat symptoms of disease, but these are not meant to be consumed long term. For example, if we're in the process of treating a chronic or acute disease state, an herbal formula or nutraceutical may be used to help treat that disease. However, once the patient is out of that disease state, the formula should be discontinued. There are certain instances where patients might be on a particular nutraceutical or herb ongoing due to a reoccurrence of certain conditions, but this is rare. The exception would be fermented fruits and vegetables where the toxins and carbohydrates have been removed. Fermented foods can also contribute to the health of the gut microbiome. Alcohol. Sorry guys, but there is no healthy amount of alcohol you can consume. Alcohol is poisonous to every cell in the body and is the only substance that humans consume that enters the cell without a transporter. What this means is that alcohol diffuses into every cell of the body, making the cell sick and damaging the mitochondria. The mitochondria are responsible for every metabolic function, regulating cell death and how fast we age. So what is the solution to this ever-growing problem? We can start with diet. A ketogenic diet is the most appropriate diet for human consumption. There is a spectrum of a human appropriate diet, and this would include carnivore, ketovore, and keto. The carnivore diet is the consumption of animal products only and is zero carb. I recommend my patients start with beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for the first 90 days. After this, we can discuss incorporating appropriate foods back into the diet. In other words, whole, one ingredient animal products and some plant foods if the patient chooses. This will be done slowly and deliberately to ensure that we are monitoring for food sensitivities or allergic reactions. This would never include processed, sugary, or high carbohydrate foods, including grains and starchy vegetables. However, to remain carnivore, no plant foods would be reintroduced into the diet. Ketovore is essentially a carnivore diet with an occasional, like maybe once or twice weekly, vegetable or fruit added to the diet. The carbohydrates are kept below 10 grams daily. And then there's the keto diet. This is about 50% plant foods with the other half divided between meat and fat. Carbohydrates are kept below 20 grams per day, and the patient would only consume plant foods that they do not react to. I recommend consuming a carnivore diet for the best results. This is a weight optimization diet, which means that if you need to lose weight or gain weight, you will. This is the best diet for optimizing your metabolism, increasing natural hormone production, namely testosterone, increasing lean muscle mass, decreasing visceral fat, and reversing cellular decline and damage. In other words, reversing the ill effects of the aging process. So what exercise is the best exercise? Cardio or HIIT? HIIT training, also known as high intensity interval training, is the best exercise for optimizing both your health and fitness. HIIT training reduces visceral fat, releases myokines, and can take as little as 10 minutes out of your day. For the best result, I recommend 10 to 20 seconds of all-out effort doing either sprints, spin cycle, or burpees. You would start slow if you've never done HIIT before. This means maybe 2 to 4 sprints to start, 1 to 2 times a week. If you've not exercised for a while or are severely out of shape, just getting the patient walking is where we would start. Now remember that term myokines. Myokines are signaling proteins that are released by the working muscle and move into the systemic circulation. These proteins go to every muscle in the body and tell it to get stronger. This is because when we move in brief, all-out efforts, the body believes it needs to get stronger to be able to perform this activity over and over again. Cardio, on the other hand, is not the best activity for health or fitness. The reason for this is that when we're exercising in this manner, the body thinks it needs to conserve energy, so it stores it as fat. When comparing MRI studies of both sprinters and marathon runners, the sprinters will have virtually no visceral fat, whereas the marathon runners will have a significant amount. The areas we look at are the abdomen and thighs. Visceral fat will wrap itself around the internal organs, including the heart, and will infiltrate into skeletal muscle, which will be evident as marbling of the fat into the thigh muscles. Adequate sleep is important for many reasons. First of all, we produce human growth hormone during sleep and the fasted state. When we are well rested, we also produce less cortisol. Chronic stress increases cortisol production, which in turn causes leaky gut, which in turn causes systemic inflammation, which reduces hormone production. Remember, hormones are produced in the gut. One good way to reduce stress is by practicing daily meditation and mindfulness. So there you have it. The bottom line is that getting healthy and losing that unwanted fat is easier than you think. By eating a ketogenic diet, preferably carnivore, and incorporating HIIT training into your weekly routine, your body will have no choice but to become leaner and healthier. I am Dr. Victoria Munoz. Until next time, take care.